and welcome to the Visionary VA podcast, the go-to show for ambitious virtual assistants who are ready to stop trading their time for money and start scaling their businesses into thriving agencies. I'm Holly Copsey, founder of the award-winning agency Virtually Priceless and the Visionary VA Circle community. Each week, I'm here to bring you actionable strategies, proven systems, and mindset shifts to help you transition from a solo VA to a visionary agency owner. If you're ready to grow your business to dizzying new heights with less stress and more success, you're in the right place. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Visionary VA podcast. Today I am delighted to welcome the lovely Hayley Hudson, founder of Hudman Admin Support and the VA Lounge, a community for virtual assistants. Known for her down-to-earth approach, love of tech, and big heart for small businesses, Hayley helps VAs simplify systems, embrace essential software, and build successful businesses that align with their values. She believes tech doesn't have to be terrifying, and she's on a mission to make it feel fun, doable, and profitable. When she's not hosting Coffee Club or testing the latest tools, you'll find her cheering on VAs, simplifying chaos, and keeping business real and relatable. So let's kick things off by just learning a little bit more about your journey. How did you become a VA in the first place? And what has that journey been like for you over the last, I think it's nearly 6 years now of running your business?
Yeah, just coming up for 6 years, which is weird because I still feel like a complete and utter newbie. Yep. And I've said this to a couple of people within the industry. I was like, can I still not be classed as a newbie? And they're like, definitely not. You've got to understand in business that every day is like a learning day, isn't it? I sometimes feel like I start from day one every week, just with the variety of work. So why am I a VA? I ask that to myself quite a lot. No, I'm joking. I had a bit of a wake-up call. It took a 6.8 earthquake at the end of 2019. It just woke me up a bit to go, what am I doing? Where am I? We'd gone through life, really, as we do. And I think there was a lot of stuff that had happened in previous years that just made me realise, what am I doing and where do I want to go from here? So in 2019, I decided that I'd quit my job and didn't have any clients really to go to. And I've always been like this massive creative person. And I was like, oh, I'm going to open a shop, or I'm going to do gifts, or I'm going to become a florist. And then I was like, that's great. And that's amazing that I want to do that. However, what skills do I actually have that's actually going to make me some money? And I've always sort of been in sales, admin, marketing, operational roles. I worked abroad for what is now TUI for quite a few years. It was very much like a sales-based role, but also customer service. I was a kids rep, and then I was a childcare manager in the Northern Alps. So it was, I got all these soft skills, but also be very much in an office space. I worked in the logistics industry for 15 years and I worked in the same company for 12 years and it was amazing. It was family run. We'd done births, deaths, marriages, all of the team together. I still see the girls' work colleagues. They're some of my closest friends still now. But I just decided that the environment that I was in, I wasn't getting anywhere. Yeah. There was no career progression. There was nowhere that I could go. And I started to value myself a bit more. Yeah. And I think it's the earthquake wake-up call was a bit like, what am I doing here? I've got all this stuff to give, the stuff of me, work ethic and things. And so I quit and just started up the VA business. The VA, the virtual assistant sort of name had sort of been on the radar for about 2 months and I'd looked into it quite a bit, but I'd looked very much into sort of like the practical, technical side of things. Because whenever I go to things like, right, how does this practically work? How can I do this? Like I looked at what spec a laptop needed, what insurance I needed, what ICO I needed, nothing else. Because I just thought, you know what, if I can get the practical, physical stuff that I need, then I'll just go and talk to people and find out everything else that I needed. So I did. I told everyone and anyone, had to explain, obviously, what a virtual assistant was because no one had a clue. And within a week of telling one of the dads on the school gate, I was sitting down having a conversation with a VA that had been in business for 6 years about associate work.
Oh, amazing.
And then the week after, my best friend turned around to someone and went, "Oh, you need Hayley. You need Hayley to come and do this." And it just went. So by the time I'd finished my notice at work, I'd had 2 clients.
Brilliant.
My confidence was a bit on the floor, but Janice, who was this VA who had been in business for 6 years, I worked with her for 6 months, and she always says to me, it was just your confidence. You had everything there. She said, but where you were so downtrodden from being in employment, I'm just going to say it how it is, and the environment that I was in employment, I just needed that person just to give me a few sort of hints of, this is how I do it, a mentor. I just needed a mentor. And it just grew from there, really. I started off doing general admin, inbox management for local clients in Deal in Kent, where I live. And then that joyous 2020 happened, and I fell onto LinkedIn due to someone at a networking meeting at the beginning of the year going, "You need to go on LinkedIn." I was like, oh, really? That awful thing that we used to have an account for. So I logged on, looked at my 32 connections from school and from working abroad, and then just started getting my name out and commenting things and, posting the ridiculous stuff that I was posting, and then went national with national clients in the March, obviously pandemic wise.
Yeah, just as that hit.
Yeah, just as that hit. But it sort of, a couple of the local clients suffered with that, but actually it just accelerated a lot of things, because I was then going to go to, like many EAs, VAs, PAs out there, we were the go-to to go and sort out how are we going to work from being online. One of the comments that was made when I left my employment role was, "Oh, that won't work, working remotely." I don't know how that's going to be possible working remotely. And then obviously 6 months down the line, everyone was working remotely.
We're all doing it.
We're all doing it. And we're still doing it. And I think that's the beauty that has come out of the pandemic, is that we've had to trust in tech a lot more.
Yeah.
And we've had to make that rapid shift, even those that didn't want to, made that rapid shift. And I think that's what spurred me into going down the tech VA route and learning like the practical stuff of, how to get the admin done with as little human error as possible, because we all do it. And it's also the joyous thing I find about like automation and with tech and things when it comes to admin is that everyone then has responsibility. So it's not, my employed life was very in a male orientated environment. And it was very much, yes, your container delivered. Yes, we've got all the paperwork, shoving it all in a folder and then giving it to the girls to sort out.
Yeah.
Because it was very much like that. Whereas actually automating processes, everyone has to take responsibility throughout the pipeline.
Yeah.
And, it's empowering the people, because we're not the ones that, just give it to the girls to sort out. We're the ones that actually double check everything. We're the ones that are actually the liaison between operations and sales, and we are the ones that hold it all together.
Yeah.
Admin professionals, business support, whatever name that you want to use us.
Yeah.
So sorry, that is a really long introduction of why, how, and what I was doing, really.
Yeah. So how quickly did the business then grow? So obviously you mentioned that you went kind of national that following year. That's about 6 months into your journey. And I know that you got to the point of having quite a big team as well. So talk a little bit about that and how quickly it grew and why you decided to expand in that way.
Yeah. So I went national and then I went international within about... we always try and figure this out with me and my first international client, and it continues to still be my client, We always wonder when we actually started working together, because we did so much together beforehand that actually it's merged. But I would say within a year and a half, 2 years, went international. End of 2020 was a little bit rough for me with family loss. And I think 2020, literally just in general, was rough for everyone. And after having, I've got 2 girls, after having the girls at home as well, I was like, right, my business has grown quite a lot. I only have capacity for me and life. So I was like, right, I need to build a team. Obviously, I decided to go into the VA lounge side of things as well, which is online membership, which I think we'll talk about in a bit. And so I was like, I need a VA. The VA needs a VA. And I still believe every business owner, whatever your role is, if you are at capacity, there is still ways that you can delegate and use your time better.
Absolutely.
If you have at least one person on your team.
It's the exact same advice we give to our clients, right? And we have to be able to walk that walk ourselves. I think that's really important for you to understand what your clients are going through when they start delegating as well.
Yolanda Earl is the best thing I have invested. The best thing. She won't mind me calling her thing. Yolanda Earl is the biggest and best investment that I have made for my business, because nothing is ever too much. She completely and utterly understands my special brand of chaos that I have within myself. And Yolanda does a lot of things, like she puts Matt's shift work into my calendar, because yes, I could get round to sorting out a family calendar and things, but we both work on different operating systems. So actually, Yolanda spending 10 minutes on that every 3 months, complete game changer for me, because then I know where I don't have to pick up Esther from school and Matt's around. And I was also leaving money on the table with regards to clients coming aboard, and I just did not have the capacity. I did not have the time to actually do the work myself. Also, with current clients that I was working with, everyone always wants more, don't they? Or you do things, oh, yes, you can do that as well. Oh, can you do this? Yes, I can. However, let's get so-and-so on board as well. It was me building my team, but in a way where I felt comfortable. I was sort of the project manager. So I was still doing things within the client's work, and then delegating to the team other bits and things. And that was great. Proofreading, I do not proofread. I believe I'm undiagnosed dyslexic. I've got all right where I am without diagnosis. It's fine. I just know where my weaknesses are. And I also got to a point where I know where my strengths are and also what I love doing. So bringing in the team was great. I won an award last year, which was lovely, and quite shocked to get that. But then after the award and looking at life and what I really wanted for the business, there was a lot of people that I was working with, and there was a lot of projects that I was working on where I mainly go in and work with clients and sort out their processes and systems and look at their whole business ecosystem as one. And we sort of break things down and we set up systems properly and streamline things. And then they will go, oh, I need someone to look in the inbox. I'm like, yeah, that's great. And I'd bring one of the team in. But what I was finding was that where I was so heavily invested working with these people, and I'd been working with these people for about 3-4 months, they weren't particularly bothered about making bonds with a new team member. And for me, I like to work with multiple people. I like to work on multiple projects. There's a very thin line of going in and being a project manager and then literally being the manager for someone, a general manager. And I think there were a lot of places where it was starting to turn like that. Hats off to agency owners like yourself, Ollie, because I never want to micromanage anyone and I don't want to manage people, but as your team grows, it's your name on the door and it's finding the right team. Every single associate I now refer people to instead, and we do an introductory thing and they are exceptionally brilliant at what they do. And I work on projects with other VAs as well, where their specialty is EA, and I'll come in and do the tech side of things. And for me, I think that works a lot better for what I want in the business and for the business as a whole. And when it came to the team, I had a conversation with them, and they'd very much grown their own businesses anyway. And I want the best for them. So it's like, right, if I'm doing this project, just come on board, just be a direct client. And also, I want to be a direct client of yours. I want you to come and strengthen the VA lounge. I want you to help me out on the VA lounge.
Yeah.
As a VA, as a VA business owner, not as an associate and things. I'm quite looking forward to seeing the end of 2025, not going to lie. 2025, personally, we all have personal lives. I didn't build a business to ignore my personal life at all. I built the business to fit around it and make sure that I had all the joy that I could possibly get in life. And the work needed to bring joy. And it has done this year. It really, really has done. But I know that 2025 life side of things has needed me a lot more than the business side of things. And yeah, I didn't see me running a team in 2025 at all. And it's worked out really well. It's worked out really, really well. Everyone's happy. When you have loads of inquiries and you're at capacity and you're busy, you've got the choice to go and make a team and build a team, whatever size. And it's people like Sarah SP, who are 7 years in business, and she's always done it by herself. And she's so successful. She's so highly regarded in the VA industry as well. And she's really just built it her way. And I am very much a trial and error. It was my favourite thing at school when it came to maths and science and stuff, trial and error, because I think you learn so much as you go through and you experience things, that it's building a team. Built a team, it was great, fantastic. But what's next? What was the plan for 2 years down the line? Things change, life changes. It's great to have a 10-year business plan, a 5-year business plan, but actually you don't know what life throws in with it as well. And so it's okay to change all those things, and that might not align with you anymore. And you get to a certain point where you are full of capacity, and it's like, where do you go? Where do you go with it? And it was hard enough having a tiny team, let alone the sizes that you guys have.
Yeah, it is tough. And I think, I talk a lot about people building a business to fulfill their kind of dream life, right? That it's very much about creating something that allows you to live the life that you want to, whether that's at a financial level, whether it's fitting around your family and having the flexibility. And let's be honest, a lot of us start our business because we need flexibility around family, mainly having kids. And I think it's really important to do the work to understand what your priorities are, what your dream life looks like, and then actually to build your business around that. And I think it's very easy to get carried away, particularly when you're busy and you're really sought after and you get loads of referrals and those leads keep on coming. And I've been guilty of this myself. You just say yes to everything. You get bigger and bigger and you get excited by seeing the pound signs. The accounts every month look great, but actually sometimes you can feel like it's running away with you. And running a team is not for everyone. It really isn't. And it's great that you've had the confidence to try it, but then gone, actually, this isn't the right fit for me. I'm going to do what I love. And I found a different way of making this work. And I think that's really great, because I think a lot of people fall into the trap of doing it. They think it's the only way to grow, when actually there are other options. You could specialize in something. You can move into more project or consultancy type work. You can become a coach. There's so many different things that you could do. And I do think quite often that being a VA actually takes you on a real journey of self-development, the personal development, and looking at different things. And my team's actually got a bit smaller now. Our biggest, I think we were well over 30. It's more like in the teens now, which is a really nice, manageable size. Now, part of that's because we lost a couple of big clients last year, but actually also I'm being a lot stricter about the type of clients I want to work with, the type of work I want to do personally, and the way I want to run my team. And I think it's really important to be honest with yourself and clear about what you enjoy and how you want to spend your time, because I don't want to spend hours and hours at work and hate what I'm doing. I want to be excited about it and feel passionate about it. And yeah, I think that's really great that you've made that decision and you are creating a life that works for you. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
Absolutely. No one, we have similar things, don't we, in life? You might have kids, you might have parents that are getting older as well, you've got a house run and things, everything. But no one's experiencing what you're experiencing or wanting to do the things that you want to do. And also has the brain capacity that you have. Some days I'm like raring to go, yes, brilliant. Whereas others, it's like, no. Others days, like, no, I'm going to sit on the sofa and this is what I'm going to get managed to do.
We all have
And
those.
there's no rules, is there? Like, the only rules are like abiding by the UK law, pretty much. I managed a team of 28 people at the age of 21, and it was a team of 18 to 24-year-olds that I managed. And it wasn't easy. And I think for me, it was great to have the team on board. It was great. And you touched on it about the money coming in as well. But the massive thing that I've learned, especially by not getting rid of the team, obviously bringing the team in-house this year, is that actually I've earned more money this year because I've been very particular with who I've been working with. I've been very much focused on what my deliverables are, not worrying about or checking that the team are up to date on sending time reports and projects are going okay. I've collabed a lot with other VAs where they've brought me in as consulting on a project or consulting on software, which has been really exciting because my VA network I am so grateful for and I appreciate so much, and not just because of the work collapse side of things, but for the check-ins, for the support, for the I haven't heard from you, I haven't seen you, is everything okay? Or have you got 5 minutes just to discuss this? Yes, of course. And you said about there's other ways to get that income coming in and to be, if you're sought after, it's that golden rule of low supply, high demand, price can go up and things. And so it's just finding the right way and the right path for you in your life.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the VA Lounge then, because you mentioned the community there. Yeah. How did that come about? At what point in your VA journey did you set that up? And tell us a little bit more about what it involves.
It was quite early on, as I mentioned earlier about Janice, the VA that sort of took me underneath her wing. I was bored and lonely, sat in my makeshift office underneath the stairs like Harry Potter. It was my haven of sanity whilst the kids were off during lockdown. And none of my friends were running businesses at the time. Matt, my long-suffering, devoted husband, you don't talk about work, do you, really? You don't want to talk about work, or you do want to talk about work because you're really excited about your business. But yeah, there's other stuff. And I'd been to a couple of networking things online and hanging about in free VA groups and stuff on Facebook, and I hate Facebook with passion. And I just wasn't finding what I needed. What I needed was those work colleagues that you sit in the office with and you go, hi, good morning, how was your weekend, blah, blah, blah. Or, oh my goodness, so-and-so suppliers just said this, or the container's late to Tilbury, I've got a photo of it. Just obviously a different world to anyone that's ever worked in logistics before. But I just missed those work colleagues. I just missed that little bit of office banter, those kitchen chats. And so I thought, let's just make a community, Hayley, as you do. Because I've always gone, this is a good idea. Let's just do this. And it was very much what I needed. And the VA Lounge was what I needed for my business right there and then. It was going to be a paid community to start off with in Jan 2021. And then we went into lockdown part 2. I was like, I cannot charge for this because I need it more than people. So we ran it free until April 2023.
Oh, wow.
I think. Yeah, 2023. And then we monetized it and we moved from the LinkedIn group to Discord, and then we're back to LinkedIn. And then we've recently moved to Circle app as well for the community. And it was basically, I needed that weekly check-in with people that were doing what I was doing. And I didn't need it to be a message on a social media page. I needed it to be a video connection, because that's what we could do at the time. I'd love to meet everyone. I'd love to meet weekly for coffee with people, but logistics doesn't work like that when you're a VA, and also a 45-minute Zoom with someone and a rowdy bunch that they are. We can fit that in. I'm a great advocate about looking after your noggin, looking after your head, and just, I wanted somewhere for people to go, oh, there's coffee club on Tuesday at 12. I can pop to that if I need to.
Yeah.
Because someone's always there. We've missed 4 Tuesdays in nearly 5 years. That's it.
Wow.
And a lot of members say, oh, I'm sorry I haven't been for ages. You don't need to apologise, she said, but it's just comforting to know that you're there, that if I need to just pop in for 5 minutes. I went to coffee club today, and because I had a question to ask if anyone knew anyone that did certain things. And then I went, and now I'm going to mute myself and just sit in the background and work, because Yolanda was hosting coffee club.
Yeah.
And it was great just to listen to people and how their weeks have been, and picked up on a few things. And that's great. But then I also was like, I need to upskill people, I need to help people with tech, because it's just running away with everyone. So we did skill sessions, or we still do monthly skill sessions, but a lot of people come in and deliver them. And then we do co-working as well. Co-workings, we used to do it once a month, but we do it once a week now. Because some people will come to coffee club but won't come to co-working, but then some people will come to co-working and not coffee club. I really love co-working because it means that I actually get my stuff done that is normally put down to the pile. And I know a couple of VAs were sprucing up their website, so they've actually used the co-working each week to actually get their websites done. It's just carving out a bit of time in your diary each week for you, or for the minutes that you really don't want to write up. And it's 5 years in January. There's big plans, there's big changes for 2025, 2026. Can't believe it's 2026.
So that's one of the things I was going to ask, that future plans for the community. Where do you see it going? And hopefully you're continuing to grow it, I presume.
There's going to be quite a significant change in 2026.
Exciting.
Hopefully. It's always about it being a collaborative space for people.
Yeah. And
the plans that I had for it for this year obviously just got sidelined a little bit because life happens, and I was needed elsewhere, and in my most important role of motherness. And so 2026 is going to be the VA Lounge year. I've decided we're just collecting feedback from current members at the moment, just about a few things, but it's just the time. It's just having the time to actually build it out and do it. But it's very much, the VA Lounge is going down the tech route. It's always been quite techy and about upskilling, but we're really going to lean into that for next year, and to make it the place where VAs can go to get their tech armor on, basically. The amount of questions that we get in group about, does anyone know about this certain software and things? So it's going to be, we need to hone into that to go, this is the software, this is that, and things. I'm excited. I apologise that I can't talk too much about it.
I completely understand. You can come back and talk to us.
It's quite a new development and thing.
Well, hopefully you can come back and talk to us again next year once it's announced, and share a bit more about it. That sounds really, really exciting. And I think it's really nice when you find communities as well where they do have a specific focus, right? Because there are a lot of general groups out there. I know when I started, I was overwhelmed by the number of VA groups, and I'm actually now only in a few, and you tend to find the ones that resonate with you the most, that are your kind of tribe, that sort of thing. And it's the reason that I then started my community for people who are building their teams. And it's very specific around that. And we don't really take people into the group that are newbies, because it's just too overwhelming and they're at a different point in their journey. So I think, specializing like that is really good to know. And that you can immediately direct people. If I've got someone that's got a tech thing, that I can go, go and talk to this person, go and find this community. That's really great. And so I know also you started running a conference each year, or a small conference event even. Is it the third year next year that you'll be doing Lounge by the Sea?
It is. 14th of May. There you go. Thursday, 14th of
Amazing.
May 2026 in my lovely little hometown of Dealkin.
Ah.
I know you came the first year, Holly.
Yeah, I couldn't make it this year. I was so disappointed, but the first one last year was absolutely fantastic. I really loved it. So yeah, hopefully I'll manage to grab a ticket for next year.
I will always go wherever I can to support VA events and business support events as much as I can do. And I love getting out. I love getting out, and I love seeing people and discovering more of the UK, even though the majority of it is normally sitting on a train. But deal businesses was one of the main reasons why I started being a VA. And although I'd sort of got different services that I offer businesses and deal now, what I thought I could massively do for the deal business community was actually bring people into deal.
Yeah.
I know I'm biased because it's my hometown, but deal is amazing.
Yeah,
and
it is
has
beautiful.
something about it. It's not big. It's dated 1950s seaside town, but there's a little bit of magic that happens here. And I have the privilege of working with a lot of coaches and consultants, and one in particular works with introverted women leaders. And I've seen a lot of introverted women leaders within the VA industry and within some of the members of the VA Lounge and a lot of VAs that I meet in person at different conferences.
Yeah.
And everyone looks at me and goes, oh, you just walk into a room and start talking to people. Do you know what? That's great. If I'm within the VA industry, I can walk into any event that's run by VAs because you're never alone in the VA industry. I went up to an Airtable event and I had to walk around the block 3 times. 3 times I had to walk around the block because I knew no one that was there. I love Airtable. I know Airtable, but I knew that I would be sort of like so low down in the knowledge pile of all these Airtable consultants that were going to be there. And it was intimidating because there was hundreds of people there. And what I really wanted to do with Lounge by the Sea was A, have it in my hometown, and B, have it so every single person in that room could contribute to the speakers' sessions, to the conversations in the day, and actually have the opportunity to try and speak to everyone in that room. Even with just 25 people in a room, you still can't talk to every single person in the day.
No, it's really tough.
Not onto the level. But yeah, so it's minimal. Everyone keeps on saying to me, when are you going to have a bigger one? When are you going to have a bigger one? But that's a completely different event, completely different thing, really. There's so many VA events now that are popping up around the country. I sit on the Society of Virtual Assistants Advisory Board. And we were discussing this the other day, and it's wonderful to see that actually VAs actually want to meet in person and see each other in person. And I think that's something really special, that actually, if you know VAs within your local town, within your local, Chamber of Commerce or something, sitting down once every 3 months or once a month with them, just to have a conversation, just have a coffee, it's always laugh about it. It's coffee club, but non-virtual. Because it's just having people that get what you're talking about, really. And I think that's with Lounge by the Sea. I always am shocked that people come all the way to Deal, because we are literally as far southeast as you possibly can do. But I think a lot of people will come down and actually spend a time and actually have a bit of, I don't want to use alone time, but alone time with the thoughts. And I've always wanted to create safe spaces for people, and Deal is one of them. Even if you're down, not for a conference and everything, you can walk up and down the seafront, and it's just mind time.
Definitely. Yeah, so important. Oh, well, how exciting. Well, so tickets go on sale next week, I think it is, for the wider community, isn't it? I know that obviously your VA Lounge gang get access a little bit earlier, but where can people find out about the VA Lounge if they want to know more about potentially joining?
The best place at the moment, as the website is under construction still, is just to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I can send all the details, or follow the VA Lounge page on LinkedIn. Will be links going up about Lounge by the Sea 2026 up there as well.
Fabulous. And are you heading to the VA conference in Bournemouth next month?
I am indeed, so I will see you there. I love the VA conference. And I am really tight with my money. I'm really tight with my money. We all work really, really hard for money. And whenever you go to conferences or events or days out or things that make you invest your money, you do have to look at it as an investment, because last year especially, okay, I was up for an award anyway, but last year at the conference, I was contemplating just nipping into sessions and stuff because I had a lot of work on. And I got down to Bournemouth on the Thursday night, and it was like I breathed out for the first time in months, because you're among your peers, and Amanda creates that safe space feeling as well down there. And I said this on my post last year, you don't know how much you need the VA conference until you're at the VA conference.
Yeah. And you need to fully immerse yourself. You can't do that dipping in and out thing. You need to throw yourself in, be all in, and give yourself the time and space to really make the most of it.
Giving yourself the permission. The permission to actually have the day off. And I think that's one of the hardest things that I've had to learn how to do in the past 6 years. Is I'm a business owner. If I want to take 2 days off, I'm just going to take 2 days off. I'm going to tell the clients I'm not working these days. The stories that we tell ourselves in our heads of how clients are going to react to things are horrendous. And it's like, oh, they're not even fussed about me taking days off.
Definitely.
Having most of my time.
And I do remember last year seeing,
have a brilliant time today, won't you?
Yeah, I do remember last year seeing quite a few people ducking in and out the room, and a couple of people on my table were furiously working on their breaks and stuff. And it's like, guys, you need to just tell your clients, oh, but I can't, oh, but it's not about, actually, it's about you and taking ownership of it and being the boss and being the business owner and stepping into those shoes, not having that employee mindset, oh, I've got to do whatever the client says. Set their expectations, communicate it early, and just do it. Yeah, you can make it happen, but it is a mind over matter situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the past 2 years, I have been a lot better with my time off and things. And that is because it could be because of the longevity that I've had my clients for. And it's that understanding of it. And like starting up with new clients over the past couple of months and stuff, it's been interesting to see the shift of how I used to work with a new client to how I'm working with them now. And it's also, it's starting with a direct client is completely different to starting with although they're still a direct client, in collaboration with another VA. It's especially a VA that you know really, really well. You respect that VA so highly that you know that they've put that expectations in with that client already, that they've got the boundaries in place and stuff. And so, yeah, I do think collaborating with other VAs that have got a different skill set to you is literally a game changer for your business. Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. It's been a fantastic conversation. I've just got a couple of quick wrap-up questions that we tend to ask all of our guests. So, do you have a top tip or best piece of advice you'd give to someone who is considering, growing their VA business by building a team? Because a lot of our listeners are doing that. I know you've kind of been through that journey and come back again, but what advice would you give someone who's thinking about doing that?
Speak to people like yourself who have done big agencies and then brought it in, but also speak to people that have grown a team and brought it back in as well, just to find out what it is actually really like. Just talk to other VAs that have done it and see how they've done it in different ways, and explore the different ways that you can actually expand the business and how you're going to manage that process wise as well, like the tech side of things. Because if you're growing, the last thing that you want to do before you scale, and I say this to the clients, if you're getting ready to scale, look at all your processes and systems. So this is very techie based. Look at all your processes and systems beforehand, because the last thing you want to do is get a team in place, get all that work coming in, but then be swamped yourself in admin.
Great advice. And what do you feel running your VA business has given you personally?
joy and freedom.
Awesome. Love it. 2 great things, and something I think we all aspire to for sure. Well, thank you so much. And we'll pop all the links in the show notes for your website and for VA Lounge and stuff as well. And please do come on and talk to us again next year when you have your big expansion with VA Lounge. That sounds really exciting. And I'll look forward to seeing you in Bournemouth, hopefully in a few weeks.
Oh, thanks so much, Holly, for having me.
Thanks, Hayley. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Visionary VA podcast. I hope you're walking away with fresh ideas and inspiration to scale your VA business. Don't forget to check out our free mini course on building solid business foundations, perfect for setting your VA agency up for success without the overwhelm. You'll find the link in the show notes. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a review. See you next week.